What happens to rain that never leaves? Deep in the American West lies a land as big as France. Yet water that falls here doesn't flow to any sea. It vanishes into the sky, into the dirt, into silence. This is the Great Basin, a place where rivers go to die, where lakes appear and disappear with the seasons. A land locked in a cycle so extreme, it doesn't follow the rules of nature. It rewrites them. But this strange world isn't just a geographic quirk. It's a crucible of survival. For thousands of years, humans have lived here, hunted here, disappeared here. From ancient tribes to silver boom towns to 70,000 people dancing in the desert at Burning Man, the Great Basin has been a backdrop for both dreams and disappearances. So how do you survive in a place where water doesn't flow, where cities rise and fall, and where the past is buried beneath layers of salt and time? Let's find out. If you're into stories like this, where mystery meets survival, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the next exploration. The Great Basin isn't just massive, it's mysterious. Covering 209,000 square miles, it swallows entire states and stretches quietly into Mexico. But its size isn't what makes it strange. It's what it does with water. Rain doesn't leave. Rivers don't reach oceans. Instead, they vanish, sucked into salt flats, lost in ancient lake beds, or sealed in aquifers buried deep below the surface. This isn't just a desert, it's a vault, and everything inside it stays locked in. Water, minerals, even memories. From above, it looks empty, scattered ridges, endless plains. But look closer, and the land tells a different story. Each valley, each dry lake, is a leftover from a time when the West was a vast inland sea. Now, the land breathes dust, heat, stillness, and beneath that stillness, pressure builds. The same tectonic shifts that carved this megabasin still move today. The ground is alive, cracking, folding, stretching, slowly, relentlessly. People live here, but few understand the forces below their feet, or how little it takes to wake them. You'd expect the West to be dry, but not like this. The Great Basin sits in the rain shadow of the Sierra Nevada, a towering range that stops Pacific storms dead in their tracks. Clouds rise and vanish. Rain rarely makes it across. What's left behind isn't just dry, it's otherworldly. This is how the Mojave Desert was born, a scorched plain on the basin's edge, where temperatures fry the ground and life clings on by a thread. But deeper inside lies something even stranger. The Great Basin Desert, the largest in the US, covering 2/3 of the region. Here, mountains rise like islands in a sea of silence. Over 30 peaks break through the heat, some reaching above 10,000 feet. Up there, snow falls. Rain lingers. Water trickles down into bone-dry valleys and vanishes, beginning the cycle again. The Bear River runs for 350 miles before pouring into the Great Salt Lake, a body of water so unstable, entire sections evaporate by summer's end. Farther west, the Humboldt River meanders endlessly across the dust. It's the lifeblood of the desert. Yet no one knows exactly how long it runs. Because in this land, even the rivers hide their truth. The deeper you go into the Great Basin, the more it feels like you're walking through a memory. Long before highways, fences, and state lines, this was a land ruled by water and by those who knew how to follow it. Thousands of years ago, around 10,000 BCE, the first Paleo-Indian peoples crossed into this region. They weren't settlers, they were survivors. Nomads, hunters, families, carrying only what they could, guided by stars and instinct. What drew them here? A lake. Lake La Hontan once spread across 8,500 square miles, nearly the size of New Jersey. It shimmered in the basin like a forgotten ocean, fed by ice melt and storms that no longer come. For centuries, it was a sanctuary, a place where food, shelter, and water all converged. But then slowly, the lake began to vanish, not in a storm, not in a flood, but in silence. As the earth warmed, the water retreated. The lake fragmented into smaller pools, Pyramid Lake, Walker Lake, shadows of their former selves. And with them, the people moved, split, adapted. What remained of La Hontan is dry now, cracked, silent. Yet when the wind blows across its ancient floor, it still whispers stories of a people who found life where none should exist, of a lake that defied the desert, of a beginning in the most impossible place. Long after Lake La Hontan dried to dust, others came searching for something different, not water, but hope. As the 18th century drew on, foreign eyes turned toward the west. In 1765, Spanish explorer Juan María Antonio de Rivera stepped into the Great Basin. He was among the first outsiders to witness its vast silence, but he wouldn't be the last. By the mid-1800s, America had redrawn its borders through treaties, conquests, and promises inked on fragile paper. The Spanish Cession of 1819, the Oregon Treaty of 1846, the Mexican Cession of 1848. These documents gave the United States control over a desert few dared to cross, and fewer understood. Then came the rush. In 1848, gold fever hit. Tens of thousands set out for California, chasing a better life. But to get there, they had to cross 1,600 miles of unforgiving land. Much of that trek followed the Humboldt River, a narrow ribbon of water cutting across a hostile world. Some never made it. Others stayed. In 1859, silver was discovered in Nevada's Virginia Range, the Comstock Lode. Overnight, Virginia City exploded to 25,000 people. Nevada earned its title, the Silver State. But silver, like water, runs out. And when it did, so did the people. They left behind tunnels, ghost towns, and questions. Why build a city in a place so impossible? What were they really chasing? Gold? Freedom? Or something far more fragile? A future. Today, two cities rise from the rim of the Great Basin: Reno, nestled in Nevada's western edge, and Salt Lake City, a beacon in Utah's vast interior. Reno holds close to 490,000 souls. Salt Lake, over 1.3 million. But these aren't just cities, they're islands of life, floating on a sea of dust, salt, and silence. Zoom out, and the contrast is striking. 8 to 10 million people scattered across a region the size of France, and most of that land remains untouched, wild, barren, and barely inhabitable. Why? Because even now, with all our concrete, codes, and convenience, we haven't beaten the desert. Over 70% of the water sustaining Nevada and Utah comes from a fragile, man-made web: reservoirs, pipelines, snowpack, and aging aquifers. Lake La Hontan no longer roars with glacial melt. It trickles, regulated, redirected, rationed. Water is no longer a gift here. It's a system, a calculation, a bet. One failed snow season, one dried up aquifer, and cities like Reno could face shortages most Americans can't imagine. This isn't just about water, it's about trust in pipes, in planning, in a past that promised survival. But the desert remembers differently, and in the Great Basin, when nature wants something back, it doesn't knock, it takes. While millions pass through the Great Basin chasing gold, silver, or California's promise, some never left. Today, over 30,000 Native Americans still call this land home, many in remote communities like the Ely-Shoshone and Duckwater reservations, founded in the early 20th century. But life here isn't romantic. It's quiet, isolated, hard. Many reservations lie hours from the nearest city, cut off from stable roads, clean water, or consistent infrastructure. Even today, some wells run dry. Others are tainted, polluted by decades of mining, as lithium and silver are pulled from the earth that once sheltered their ancestors. Yes, mining still drives the local economy. And along the Humboldt River, where the soil remembers moisture, ranching survives. But these industries are small and shrinking, so the basin looks elsewhere. Tourism. Skiers flock to the Wasatch Range. Travelers come to witness the alien stillness of the Bonneville Salt Flats. And once a year, 70,000 people descend on Black Rock Desert to build a temporary city of art, fire, and dust. Burning Man. But as more come in search of wonder, a new danger rises. Not underground, but above. And it's coming faster than anyone expected. The Great Basin was never meant to be easy. It was carved by silence, by pressure, by absence. And though 8 to 10 million people now live within its reach, the land still belongs to the extremes, to heat, to height, to water that vanishes without warning. As the climate shifts, so do the odds. Aquifers will dry, snow may never fall, and what was once barely livable may become impossible. This place holds stories of survival, migration, hope, and warning. So the question is, when the desert finally takes back what we borrowed, who will remain to remember it? Let me know what you think. Could life in the Great Basin survive the next 50 years? And if you feel that pull to keep searching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a step in our journey to uncover what still hides on this earth. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.